The heavy iron door didn't just close. It sealed their fate with a definitive, metallic thud that vibrated through the stone floor. Andrea lunged forward, her fingers clawing at the cold metal, but there was no handle on the inside. "Open the door!" she screamed, her voice cracking. Beside her, Vicki was hyperventilating, the beam of her flashlight shaking so violently it looked like a strobe light. "He's going to leave us here to rot," Vicki whispered, her influencer persona completely shattered by raw terror. Rebecca, ever the protector, placed a firm hand on Vicki's shoulder, though her own knuckles were white as she gripped a heavy rusted pipe she'd found on the floor. The air in the basement was thick, smelling of wet earth, and something metallic like old blood. "Look," Andrea whispered, pointing her light downward. On the dusty floor were rhythmic, dragging marks, as if something or someone had been pulled toward the back of the cellar recently. They followed the trail, passing under low-hanging pipes that dripped a black, viscose liquid. The walls here were different. They were lined with hundreds of old, decaying family portraits. As they walked, the eyes and the paintings seemed to rotate in their sockets, tracking the girl's movements. They reached a small, circular room that looked like an altar. Intercenter, resting on a pedestal made of stacked human bones, was a thick, leather-bound book, the Caretaker's journal. Andrea opened it to a page dated October 1976. The handwriting was jagged, fueled by madness. "The village took my daughter's light," it read. "Now, the house demands 3 new lights to bring her back. 1 for her eyes, 1 for her heart, 1 for her breath." Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the windowless room, flipping the pages to the very end. There, pasted to the last page, were recent photos of Andrea, Vicki, and Rebecca taken from the bushes outside the mansion. They weren't just visitors, they were the chosen sacrifices. A haunting melody began to play from an old gramophone in the corner, a distorted children's lullaby. Suddenly, the floorboards above them groaned. Thump. Drag. Thump. Drag. The Caretaker was directly above them. "I can hear your hearts beating." His voice rasped through the iron floor vents, sounding more like a beast than a man. "The 600 hours of your search ends tonight. My daughter is hungry." Suddenly, the walls began to bleed a dark red ink, forming words on the stone. "Give her your breath." Rebecca noticed at first a movement in the darkest corner of the room. A small, pale figure in a tattered 1970s dress was standing there, her face obscured by long, matted hair. It was the Caretaker's daughter, or what was left of her. She wasn't a ghost. She was something much hungrier. She raised a skeletal finger to her lips, signaling them to be quiet, then pointed to a hidden latch under the bone altar. But as Andrea reached for it, the ceiling above them began to crack. The Caretaker had a sledgehammer, and he was breaking his way down. With a deafening crash, the ceiling gave way. Dust and debris filled the air. Through the haze, the girls saw the Caretaker's scarred face, illuminated by a strike of lightning from an open window above. He dropped a lit kerosene lamp into the room. The oil spilled across the floor, igniting a circle of fire around the girls. "The ritual must be completed in flames." "Eh?" bellowed. As the fire climbed higher, the pale girl in the corner let out a piercing shriek that shattered every portrait in the room. Andrea grabbed the latch, pulled it open, and shouted, "Jump!" They tumbled into a slide that led even deeper into the earth, the heat of the fire fading above them. They landed in a pool of stagnant water, only to find themselves face to face with 3 empty coffins, each with their names carved into the wood.